It's so it's so shocking, and she was just a kind person.
Right now at 6, stunned friends and neighbors remember the Bay Area skiers killed in a backcountry avalanche.
She was just solid gold and sunshine, just the most positive person.
Plus a $590 million Band-Aid for Bay Area transit agencies on the brink.
It's not just about moving people, it's about goods movement, it's about regional vitality.
How local leaders hope a new state loan can keep the agencies afloat until a potential bailout at the ballot box. And later, a South Bay School District fed up with students injuring themselves on e-bikes, the strict new rules they just put in place.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. Tonight, some Bay Area communities are mourning the deaths of local women who were killed by an avalanche in the Sierra. Search crews have located the bodies of 8 of those backcountry skiers, but conditions are still so bad, authorities say they're not yet able to recover them. The 6 known survivors have already been rescued, and 1 person is still missing and presumed dead. Tonight, we are learning the names of 6 of the victims, including some who lived here in the Bay Area. They are sisters. They are Carolyn Sakar and Liz Claybaugh. 45-year-old Sakar lived in San Francisco, while 52-year-old Claybaugh lived in Boise, Idaho. And Kate Vitt from Green Bay. And just within the last hour and a half, we just got this statement from the families of 6 of the avalanche victims. They say, "Our focus right now is supporting our children through this incredible tragedy and honoring the lives of these extraordinary women. They were all mothers, wives, and friends, all of whom connected through the love of the outdoors." The letter goes on to say 8 close friends planned the trip. Quote, "They were experienced backcountry skiers who deeply respected the mountains. They were trained and prepared for backcountry travel and trusted their professional guides on this trip." Our Brad Hamilton joins us live from Green Bay in Marin County, where Kate Vitt is from. Brad, I know that you talked to neighbors today about these kind of women and their backgrounds and their families. It must be heartbreaking.
Truly is. I mean, the devastation was clear to see from people here in Green Bay. I mean, words can't really even describe what's going through some of these people's minds. These are loved ones. These are people that they saw in their neighborhood just days ago, and now they've been rocked by this news. And in talking with these neighborhoods and in talking with these neighbors about these 2 women, 3 themes came up. The love that they had for their families, the kindness that they showed others, and the dedication both of these women had to motherhood. Carlene Collin told us that she had been watching the news closely. A group of 15 backcountry skiers traveling back from a trip in the Sierra caught in an avalanche. But when she learned today that her Green Bay neighbor, Kate Vitt, was among the 9 victims killed,
It's just it's so shocking, and she was just a kind person. You know, you just meet different people and right away you can just connect with them, and that's who she was. So I'm kind of shaking, honestly.
Kate Vitt was a mother of 2 boys. Another one of her neighbors, Cheryl Longman, describing the former Sirius XM executive as both a wonderful person and incredible mother.
Just textbook family. Just did everything right. Both worked hard. Both took good care of those kids, a couple of little boys.
A San Francisco neighborhood is also in mourning. Caroline Sakar, who lives in this Bernal Heights neighborhood, was also identified as one of the victims of the avalanche. She was one of 2 sisters who were on the backcountry ski trip. Her neighbors described her as a person that was special.
She was just solid gold and sunshine, just the most positive person. I never heard her say a single negative thing about even negative things.
Sakar's social media profile says that she went to Stanford, worked as a tech consultant, and was an active member of the Alta Vista school community.
The school sent us a statement saying, quote, "Our thoughts are entirely with the Sakar family at this time. Out of respect for their privacy, we are not able to comment at this time, but we will be sharing a letter with the community tomorrow." Sakar's sister, identified by the New York Times as Liz Claybaugh of Boise, Idaho, was also killed. As we learn more about the Bay Area victims, those that knew them seem to always begin and end their conversations with us, talking about them as moms. They both were raising 2 children, 2 families, now dealing with unimaginable loss.
She was really nice, and she just cared for me whenever I was at their house.
Yeah, and go and hug my husband, and we're both going to be, it just kind of takes your breath away.
Another community that has several ties is the Sugar Bowl Academy. That is a private ski club that is at the Sugar Bowl Resort. They sent out a statement saying that they are devastated. They are trying to do the best they can to support their students and their families. And Juliet, that's the thing we've heard over and over. The devastation, it's just so plain to see people visibly shaking and talking about motherhood. That is so important and so touching.
Yeah, it hits our hearts. These are tough stories to do, Brad. Thank you for bringing that to us and for honoring these women. Thanks, Brad. Meantime, we've learned that Cal OSHA is now investigating the death as well. Again, 8 bodies have been located, but the conditions on the mountain are so poor at the moment, they've had to pause all search and recovery efforts until it clears. They hope to resume this weekend. So for the second time this week, a Bay Area skier has died at the North Star, California resort. 21-year-old Colin Kang of Fremont was reported missing at the resort last night. Investigators found his car in the parking lot and determined he had gone skiing and did not return. A search and rescue team found his body this morning. Additional details about how he died have not yet been released. So the weather has been so bad up there. The National Service says travel is dangerous to impossible through the mountains and foothills. In fact, this is a look now at the snow and icy roads today, right off of I-80 in Auburn. Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan is here with more. And Paul, it's no wonder they're telling people to wait until tomorrow or Saturday to drive through the Sierra, or wait until you give us the clearance.
Yeah, even though the snow is starting to slack off a little bit, they're still under winter storm warnings in pink, winter weather advisories in the light shaded purple, and still the avalanche warning around Lake Tahoe through tomorrow morning. Now, the good news is the snow is beginning to taper off, but they're going to still pick up a few inches of additional accumulation as we head through tonight and the first half of tomorrow. And then the road crews can start to play catch up, beginning to clear the main routes, and then they'll work on some of those secondary roads as they try to kind of recover before the next wave of snow moves in next week. Around the Bay Area, the rain winding down. We saw clearing skies across the Bay Area today after several inches of rain over the course of the past several days. Rainfall totals on Saturday range from anywhere from 2.5 to 5 inches of rain for most of the Bay Area, and always a little bit more in the Santa Cruz Mountains. 7.5 inches of rain around Ben Lomond over the course of the last 5 days. Wind gusts today were substantial. Looking outside from Salesforce Tower, the camera not shaking around at this point, but it's still breezy. Maximum gusts were mostly in the 40 to 50 mile an hour range, but Half Moon Bay recorded a 53 mile an hour gust, and some of the peaks picked up 60 plus mile an hour gusts. But now that the sun is going down, the winds are going to start to back down as we head through the rest of tonight. We'll take a look ahead at the weekend and track the next chance of rain coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Paul, see you soon. A look at PG&E's outage map. The utility says as of 5:30, more than 6,000 Bay Area homes and businesses are in the dark. The yellow squares, they indicate concentrations where more than 50 customers are affected by the outages. The strong winds also impacted the morning commute for drivers in Pacifica as down power lines shut down lanes on Highway 1 at around 6:40 a.m. The CHP says they hope to reopen lanes by 7 o'clock tonight. Some Bay Area transit agencies can exhale a little bit for now, at least. Today, Governor Newsom signed off on a $590 million loan that would help 4 Bay Area transit agencies bridge the gap for the upcoming fiscal year. Kelsey Thorud looks at how the state plans to hold those agencies accountable for the way they spend this money.
Well, I'm going to hand this to someone, but
Bay Area Transit is getting money from the state by way of a $590 million emergency loan signed by Governor Gavin Newsom Thursday.
It's not just about moving people. It's about goods movement. It's about regional vitality, and it's about the energy and daring that is our great export here in the Bay Area.
The loan will be paid back over the span of 12 years with interest after the first 2. It's funding local leaders say was needed now to prevent agencies like BART, which is facing an over $350 million deficit, from having to cut services as early as next year.
Fundamentally, this is about people in the Bay Area. This is about people who rely on transit to get to work every day.
In addition to BART, the loan will also support Muni and AC Transit, both of which are dealing with their own significant budget deficits. A stipulation of the loan is that it will come with more oversight from the state's Department of Transportation, looking at how these agencies spend the money. I asked Governor Newsom how he thought Bay Area transit agencies could better manage their budgets.
Well, I want to leave that to local officials. I mean, I don't want that to be top down. But look, I think we all have to recognize the world's changed and we have to change with it. And that requires us to do things differently, to collaborate, to leverage our resources, have a more resourceful mindset, work together across agencies on capital appropriations, procurement strategies as it relates to administrative functions and staff. It's incredibly important that we're mindful in that respect of where the dollar goes.
While this loan is a short-term solution, Bay Area transit advocates say it still won't fix the long-term budgeting issues. That's why supporters like Senator Scott Wiener say the proposed ballot measure to increase the sales tax in 5 Bay Area counties to fund transit is still necessary for voters to pass this November.
So what we're doing here today is stabilize the system and to bridge us from here until a longer-term funding solution.
And as Kelsey mentioned, this loan is just a stopgap for that sales tax measure on the November ballot. It would raise the sales tax by half a cent in Alameda, Contra Costa, Santa Clara, and San Mateo counties, and by a full cent in San Francisco. Transit officials estimate it will raise about $980 million annually for 14 years. Fire crews in San Jose, they're mopping up after a house fire this afternoon on Foxwell Court. They say the strong winds in the area at the time made things a little more difficult, but they managed to limit the damage to the home's attic. The fire officials say no one was home at the time. Other crew members were patrolling the neighborhood to look out for any sparks caught in the wind, but have reported no issues. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Still ahead right here at 6, a strict new policy for students who ride e-bikes to school in one South Bay district.
Some of my friends also at first thought it was kind of dumb, but I think they all kind of realized the point in why they started it.
Why even skeptical students are starting to get on board with the new rules. E-bikes are becoming the ride of choice for young students around the Bay Area, but close calls and collisions have school leaders taking new safety steps. Len Ramirez looks at how Los Gatos is rolling out a new policy that hopes to prevent the next accident without putting the brakes on student independence.
The rush to get to school at Los Gatos High doesn't just happen on 4 wheels anymore. For freshman students Jackson and Yoselin, it happens on their e-bikes at speeds of up to 20 miles per hour or more.
It's pretty nice getting around. It's like whenever we come to school or something, we don't really have to stay in traffic. It kind of helps us learn a bit more of the streets and stuff.
And they're far from alone. When the final bell rings, the campus transforms. Students fill the sidewalks, cars inch forward, and dozens of students on e-bikes funnel through the same narrow exits. It can be a high-speed mix of wheels and pedestrians, and that's what started to worry administrators.
We saw over the last couple of years several bike-car collisions due to lack of understanding really how you go about making sure you follow all the rules of the road and you're on a bike that's legal.
The potential danger was something already on the radar of Angel Lopez, Los Gatos High's campus supervisor. He says the rise of e-bikes had an impact on campus life and raised questions about safety and responsibility.
So we had a lot of bikes that were actually out of place and parking pretty much everywhere on campus.
For Los Gatos High, the answer is a new e-bike safety program rolled out this year and to be linked with school registration next fall. Every e-bike on campus must now be registered with the school. Students take a basic safety test, have their bike photographed, and receive a sticker showing it's registered. Bikes must also be locked inside designated bike corrals. Angel regularly checks those corrals, making sure the bikes are registered and rules are followed. Unregistered bikes get a notice similar to getting a parking ticket, alerting riders they need to comply.
It's going to be a process now, same thing as the vehicles, the regular vehicle. So kids with bikes, they have to register their bikes.
So far, the principal says it's working.
Right now we have exactly 199 bikes registered, which is, I would say, 99% of the bikes that actually arrive here on campus.
Back with Jackson and Yoselin, both say the policy has shifted how students think about riding.
Some of my friends also at first thought it was kind of dumb, but I think they all kind of like realized the point in why they started it. And like it also helps with like the safety of our bikes, so like they don't get stolen. If they do, you can get it back way easier than before.
School leaders say they're not trying to put the brakes on students' freedom, just slow them down so everyone gets to class and home safely.
And be safe. Administrators say the e-bike registration program is here to stay, and next year they could expand it to middle schools. All right, after spewing toxic dust over neighbors in the East Bay, the Martinez Refining Company will pay a $10 million penalty. The Contra Costa County DA announced the fines for more than 100 violations over a 4-year period. Officials pointed to fires, leaking tanks, and toxic emissions between 2020 and 2024. They also cited a Thanksgiving 2022 incident when 50,000 pounds of powdered chemicals known as coke dust were released and covered parts of the city. The DA says the fine will fund projects in impacted communities aiming to improve air quality and public health. We've reached out to the refinery for comment but have not heard back. Coming up, enjoy this break from the rain. Paul will be back with the timing for the next round of stormy weather headed our way.
We saw another batch of moderate to heavy rainfall make its way across the Bay Area last night and through the first half of today, but now we're seeing things drying out. The radar replay over the last several hours shows even the snow in the Sierra is beginning to diminish in intensity, but it's going to take another 12 hours or so for that to come to an end. The showers winding down around the Bay Area, and now what we're in for is a return of the chilly temperatures. In fact, the cold air is just kind of making itself at home. What you're looking at are cold weather alerts, extreme cold warnings in purple for most inland parts of the Bay Area with a cold weather advisory around the bay. The only exception is closer to the coast where there are no alerts in store. And that all sounds very ominous. But temperatures tonight, while they are going to be chilly, they're going to be running about 7 to 10 degrees below what's normal for this time of year. Now, the coldest spots around Santa Rosa and Petaluma, Napa, even getting down to around or below freezing. Same thing for Livermore, other parts of the Tri-Valley are going to be about 10 or 11 degrees below what's normal for this time of year, but we're going to be the same distance above record territory by tomorrow morning. So this is not going to be an exceptional cold event. It is going to be layer up weather, though, as you are leaving the house early tomorrow morning. In fact, let's take a look at the big picture pattern here and take a look at those temperatures by early on Friday morning. We're going to be starting off with a mix of mostly 30s with only low 40s around the bay and at the coast. And even some bayside temperatures are going to be dipping down into the 30s, all the way down to 36 degrees in San Jose. Temperature dipping to 1 degree below freezing in Livermore, right around freezing for Antioch and Fairfield, near that temperature in Concord as well, with the North Bay mostly near or a little bit below freezing, down to 29 degrees in Healdsburg by tomorrow morning. But despite that chilly start, temperatures are going to manage to warm up to at least a decent level. Air temperatures will be about the same as our high temperatures for today, but it won't feel as chilly as today because we are going to see plenty of sunshine. It's not going to be as breezy. So temperatures in the low to mid 50s will feel like the low to mid 50s as opposed to feeling like the 40s for most of the day. There was actually a wind chill today. We're going to see temperatures staying about 5 to 10 degrees below normal tomorrow afternoon, but then a return to normal temperatures on Saturday and even above normal temperatures in store by the second half of the weekend and early next week. Dog walking forecast for tomorrow brought to you by an adoptable pup. Despite that chilly start, Gladys is all smiles for a dry dog walking forecast. So get your pups some exercise if they've been going a little bit stir crazy with the wet weather pattern recently. I'll put up a link to Gladys's adoptable information right after this weathercast. We're not too far away from the next chance of rain, eventually headed towards the Bay Area. We're going to see some spotty showers on Sunday, mainly for the northern half of the Bay Area, essentially along and north of I-80. And then Monday night into Tuesday, the next wave of heavier rain, not going to amount to anything that brings a significant flooding threat, but just more rain adding up gradually as we head through the next several days. So a little bit on Sunday, especially for the North Bay, maybe up close to 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 inch of total rain. Not a whole lot on top of that on Monday, but some showers late in the day. Monday night and Tuesday, the main event, anywhere from 1/3 of an inch to over an inch of additional rain. And then just a little bit on top of that Wednesday into Thursday. While in the Sierra, they're going to pick up a few more inches of snow tonight and tomorrow. A break Saturday, Sunday, and most of Monday, which they desperately need to dig out. And then more snow, another few inches at lake level with over a foot at the higher elevations, likely as we head through next week. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast outlining just one alert day. That is on Tuesday when the heaviest rain is going to fall. Does not look like the wind is going to be a major threat on Tuesday. And temperatures next week are going to return to the low to mid 60s on a daily basis, which is very close to what's normal for the last week of February. Jules?
Paul, thank you. When we come back, how an Oakland figure skater made history with her golden routine at the Winter Olympics. A local legend put the Bay Area on the world stage today. 20-year-old Oakland resident Alyssa Liu won a gold medal in women's individual figure skating, snapping a 20-year medal drought for American women in the event. Liu started skating at 5 years old at the Oakland Ice Center, where she still trains today. In 2019, at just 13, she became the youngest U.S. figure skating champion ever. She quit skating 3 years later, then made her return in 2024. After her triumphant finish today, Liu gave a shout-out to Oakland as she skated off the ice. And people around the Bay Area are sending their congratulations, including our own Vern Glenn. Today, he shared this photo from a career day event in 2022, and I'm sure whatever advice he gave her back then is what helped propel her to the gold. Congratulations. CBS Evening News is next. We're back here at 7 o'clock with more local news. We'll see you then. A local legend put the Bay Area on the world stage today. 20-year-old Oakland resident Alyssa Liu won a gold medal in women's individual figure skating, snapping a 20-year medal drought for American women in the event. Liu started skating at 5 years old at the Oakland Ice Center, where she still trains today. In 2019, at just 13, she became the youngest U.S. figure skating champion ever. She quit skating 3 years later, then made her return in 2024. After her triumphant finish today, Liu gave a shout-out to Oakland as she skated off the ice. And people around the Bay Area are sending their congratulations, including our own Vern Glenn. Today, he shared this photo from a career day event in 2022, and I'm sure whatever advice he gave her back then is what helped propel her to the gold. Congratulations. CBS Evening News is next. We're back here at 7 o'clock with more local news. We'll see you then.